Hi, it's Joe Morgan here with the Tech Leader Spotlight, where we interview leaders to learn about their journey and leadership lessons learned along the way. This show comes to you from Best Financial Life, where we focus on helping mid-career tech leaders optimize their personal finances because we understand the challenges that come with making good money and being busy with work and family. At Best Financial Life, we work primarily with tech leaders in their 40s who have combined income over $400,000 and a desire to optimize for life value as opposed to dollar value. And many of the challenges that our clients have that we address are things like not knowing where to invest or how to structure their investments, paying too much tax, that's a big one, and having too much company stock and not really knowing how to get out of that situation in a tax smart manner. So if you'd like more information, look me up on LinkedIn. My name is Joe Morgan, Best Financial Life. Today on our podcast, we have Dakota Fabro, who is a founder and full stack AI engineer at 11th House Studios. And Dakota is an experienced leader who specializes in purpose-driven digital products that empower users and inspire self-reflection. Thank you for joining us, Dakota.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely happy to be here. I'm excited to get into it.
Great. Well, let's just go right into that. Purpose-driven digital products that empower users and inspire self-reflection. What does that phrase mean to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So using, I like to leverage AI in a lot of the builds that I do. And so with AI, typically it's, the average user, they're going to type in a question to ChatGPT and they're going to get an answer and that's it. Right. And so, which is great, a great use of the tool. But I think really elevating, the way that we can use tech as a way to get to know ourselves better. I feel like it's bridging the gap between us and the machine, and also using that tool to connect with other people as well. So instead of using tech to, separate ourselves or anything like that, I want to really push for building community and building introspection into the tool, and like really challenging an ecosystem that's values individualistic things. So yeah, building community and self introspection is going to be is what I'm working for.
Wow, that's really interesting. I believe that humans are hardwired to connect to each other. Like we really want to connect.
Mhm.
And so I appreciate that that's what you're trying to do. What does
Mhm.
that really mean though? Like what are you doing differently that maybe others are doing?
Yeah. I think that a lot of the time, we have our phones, right? And we have our apps and they're all personalized to us and it does what we need it to do. And we spend a lot of time in front of screens. And I mean, right now we're in front of a screen and we're connecting and that's great. But I think that just the way that our culture is, everything is mine. This is personalized to me versus if we could build tools that really remind us that we are connected to other people and we can actually build more together versus going alone. That's really like the ethos that I'm trying to bring into these builds that I do. Um, so yeah, just a reminder that we are better together than we are like individuals.
Wow. Okay.
So
Very interesting. Do you have like an example or something you could talk through on that front?
yeah, absolutely. So one of the builds that I'm going through right now is a mobile app that's supposed to help with home care and like because there's always so much to do in a home, right? Especially if you have roommates or even you live with your family or your spouse or whoever. There's a lot of friction between like, hey, can you do the dishes versus shifting that into the dishes need to get done,
Mm.
right? And it's because this is a communal experience, right? We're all living under the same roof. Everyone will benefit from the dishes being washed. So it's kind of taking the focus of like you should do that versus the house needs this. We all need this. So how can we take this off our plate? How can we assign this without saying, it's your fault it didn't get done? Versus like, hey, I need some help. Can you help me with that? Or, without having to ask, you could see a list of things that need to get done and you can just take it from there. Uh, so just reducing friction, improving and building in, opportunities to communicate as people, and not so much just the machine. Yeah, that's one of those that's an example of how I'm trying to, bring this to life.
Very interesting. So is it like it's more forward looking than backward looking? Is that one way to think about it?
Yeah, I would say so. I have a I have my bachelor's in psychology. So a lot of the things that I do, it's I have a bachelor's in psychology. I have a master's in social change, right? Religion, ethics, and social change. So seeing things systematically, but also seeing the individual as well, um, how we play into that system and how that system also affects us, challenging those ideas of separateness versus how do these things work together. That's really like where my mind lives. Always trying to synthesize and seeing things as a system rather than siloed
Hmm.
different parts of society, or like even just as a person. So
Wow, that's great. There's a lot of hope in what you're,
yeah, I would hope so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of hope in that because, so much of technology, like you said, separates us and you're really
Yeah.
trying to bring us together. That's great.
Mhm.
Let me
Mhm.
ask you a question. In terms of leadership and just kind of changing gears a little bit, in terms of leadership in the tech space, like, you know, tech communities, tech workers and all that, what does that mean to you? What does it mean to be a leader in the tech world today?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, leadership, I believe, starts within. You need to be a good leader of yourself before you can mirror that to other people,
What
right?
does that mean? What is like leader of yourself? So like we all make decisions for ourselves, but how do we lead
Right,
ourselves?
right. I think that really, one, you have to know yourself well, right?
Mm,
And that requires self-awareness, introspection. It requires slowing down, right? I think
mhm,
often in the tech world, oh my gosh, we're moving so fast all the time. But when do we get to sit and ponder, right? When do we get to wonder about, hmm, what if we did things this way instead of just continuing to grind our gears, right? Like and seek output, right? Like I see it as a creative process, right? Like being able to have an idea, think about it, assemble your team, and then do it. That's a whole thing, right? But to answer your question about leading myself, um, yeah, you have to, there's a lot of honesty, humility, being able to say, like, dang, I was wrong.
mm,
And I'm going to learn from that. And that I feel is going to, now I'm going to draw on my experience as a classroom teacher,
mhm.
right? If I, as a teacher in a classroom full of kids, if I can show them like I made a mistake and I can learn from it, now they feel safe to do that too,
Yeah.
versus like, oh no, I'm never wrong, everything I do is right. That's just not like a safe environment for a person to learn. So I apply that to also like managing or leading, is that, yeah, we're all just going to figure out together, right? Like, sure, I'm the leader, but that doesn't mean that I'm the one that has all the answers. I'm simply here to facilitate a creative process with myself and other people. So
Yeah. That's great. So I love how you start with yourself and then so I imagine from there you move to how you interact with others on the team. Is
Mhm.
that right?
Yeah, yeah, I think, understanding myself more, it is this cyclical process of understanding myself, I can understand another person, right?
Hmm.
Like building my capacity for empathy and understanding, like, okay, let's say my highest performing engineer is something's going on. Their work is kind of, the quality is going down, or they're not shipping as fast as usually, like they do. That is not my opportunity to say, okay, they're not doing their job. It's like, okay, that seems out of character. Let's go ahead and check in with them. What's
Hmm.
going on? Maybe there's something going on at home. There's something, anything, and there's a plethora of things that could be happening. But I think extending that safe space to say, hey, I'm here for you. I'm your leader, right? Like it's constantly, I feel like as a leader, it's not so much my leadership that shows what I can do. It's the people I'm leading, right? That's gonna be the mirror of how I'm leading. Do the people feel safe to be creative? Do they feel safe to explore? Do they feel safe to take their mistakes and say, like, hey, yeah, I messed that one up. I need help.
Hmm.
So really, it's leadership is creating a safe space for people to be more of themselves, and not, I'm not trying to make more of me, right? I'm trying to see a person and give them the tools and the environment they need to grow into their highest vision of themselves, right?
Mm.
Whatever they're imagining, not me projecting onto them, but fostering their growth as they
Yeah.
see fit. So
And where did all of this gel for you? I know you've got the educational side of that, but did you have experience from another leader? How did this all sort of come about to be, a view that you have such confidence in?
yeah, honestly, I think it is a synthesis of like all my lived experience, all of my work experience, education, all of it. It all informs how I see the world and my worldview. Um, so yeah, I think there's just we're not again going back into like we're not separate. We
Mm.
are all together, right? And I think this idea that we are separate from each other is um false, honestly. Even in the professional, in the professional world, yeah, we're all showing up for a job that we were hired to do. We're getting the pay that we get, but really it's about what can we do together, right? Even
Mm.
in the workplace, we're all going to we're trying to move towards a similar goal, right? And we could get there and we can make our way towards that and kind of just like drag our feet and like, oh man, we got to do this again. Like, oh, I want to be doing something else. Or we can whistle while we work and we can enjoy our time and we can build connections along the way. And who knows what's going to happen, right? But I think it's always going to be the right answer to pursue connectedness and introspection, self-awareness, all of this stuff. Yeah, it's not just a job, right? Like it is shaping you in some way, so just being mindful of that.
For sure.
That's where it comes from for me.
Yeah, that's great. So I love your perspective on this, and it feels very supportive and productive.
Mhm.
Maybe a little time consuming versus the old ways. Is
Mhm.
that fair?
Yeah, I would say so. And I think that that is um very telling, right? Like about slowing down. Yeah, it is going to take
Mm,
time to build community and build relationships, but in the long run, the output that you're going to get, and this is, and not to say that the output is the end, right? It's just like all of this is just a means to like helping people grow.
yeah,
But if we can understand that, we're here together, yeah, it's just I don't know that my mind is like going so far. Um, but yeah.
yeah. Well, I think if we can understand that and get on that same plane, then we
Mhm.
will be more productive and we will be happier and we will
Exactly.
be more excited to
Mhm.
accomplish the things, and we'll be more creative as well, which
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
really where the value comes in for the entity, the company we work for, or
Mhm.
whatever, is the creativity of doing things better
Exactly.
the next time. Now, all that sounds really great, but
Mhm.
there is this real world aspect of things that are going on in the tech world today, where there's layoffs
Right.
and challenges, and people not getting raises and all kinds of like pulling back.
Yeah.
If you were to give a piece of advice to someone who is currently working,
Mhm.
but you want to help them be in a better position if they were to be laid off, what can people be doing right now while they're working?
Yeah. I would say build what you see,
Mm,
right? You have your full-time job, you have your 9 to 5, whatever, however you want to, call it. And then this part where we have our 9 to 5s, our full-time jobs, that is great and wonderful, and it's a great resource, right? But you're not in the driver's seat, right? And so I think that yes, you have skills, yes, you have resources, you have all these things, but where is that where is that flavor of you, right?
mm,
Like how can you infuse you and your creativity and your ideas and your vision into something real, right? And so by using the resources here to build something on your own, not maybe not on your own, but build something that is yours, um, that's gonna free up your, there's no more stress of like, oh my gosh, what if I get laid off? It's like, well, if you get laid off, you still have that thing that you built, right? And it's just this constant like cycle of you are your source, basically. You are
yeah.
your source of these things that you're, I mean, if we wanted to talk money, you're your source of your money, right? Everything else after that, if you can take care of yourself, everything after that is a bonus. right? So that's what I would say is start small, build the thing. It doesn't need to be pretty at the beginning. You can make it nice later. But build something that is your own, build something that is an expression of yourself, because another person can build a website. I can build a website. Another person can also do that too. But no one else is me, right? No one else is going to have my lived experience, my ideas. So how can we leverage that, who you are as a person, what you envision, with the skills that you have, right? How
And
do we
bring out your own self in
exactly,
everything you do.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's terrific. Um, okay, another career progression
Yeah.
question.
Please.
So, if you could go back 5 years and give yourself some career advice, what
Hmm.
would it be?
Yeah. And let's see, where was I 5 years ago? I was still a teacher. I was in my last year of teaching, actually. And I was already in this place of like, well, I don't know if I'm going to come back to the classroom. I think I really want to jump into this software engineer thing. I've
Hmm.
always wanted to do it when I was a kid. And so if I could talk to that version of myself, I would say, yes, do it, jump in. It's going to be awesome. Right. And you're going to build so many things. It's all going to work out. Yeah. I think that choosing your self-expression, the things that feel fulfilling and exciting, and that the things that ignite you, that will always be the right answer. That will always be the right direction. I don't think that anyone that has pursued themselves has ever failed in that regard, right? Like you're gonna do it, right? It whatever ignites you, go for it. So that's what I would say to myself 5 years ago.
That's great. Great,
Mhm.
great conversation today. Appreciate it, Dakota.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much for your vulnerability and your openness, and the supportive attitude is just really comes through. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Certainly. So just as a reminder, this is sponsored by Best Financial Life, where we help mid-career tech leaders with their personal finances. And if you want to know more about us, look me up on LinkedIn. I'm Joe Morgan at Best Financial Life.